Howdy folks, it's Generalkidd here. How's everyone doing today? So, for today's video, we are going to be taking an in-depth look at the E3 2012 Halo 4 demo. So, this demo is the one that was shown on stage during Microsoft's E3 2012 announcement of Halo 4, or at least their demo of Halo 4 at the time. And, usually E3 demos, they are very, tight, strict demos with like very linear and scripted actions and stuff like that. But those demos are usually almost never released to the public. Well, this demo is now floating out there, and I figured, why not? Let's take a look at this little piece of Halo history. So this demo is kind of broken down into three pieces. It's actually technically three separate games, but let's start with the campaign. So it's gonna be a bit of a longer video, but sit back, relax, and let's take a look at what Halo 4 was like during E3 2012, which was not that long before its release. And we can see how much it actually changed from E3 to the final release game. So, before we get into the campaign, let's take a look at the main menu first, because it does have quite a few options on it, actually. Even though it's just a demo, and most of this would have never been showed during the demo. Because, I don't know, it was a long time ago, but I vaguely remember during the E3 demo, they didn't show any of this stuff. They just kind of went right into the gameplay and some of the cinematics as well. But on the main menu, you have a lot of customization options, different armor and stuff. But you only have one armor variant available. The rest are not usable. And, the armor colors can be changed, but that's basically the only customization you can do on this demo. Which, like I said, it's not meant to be a public release demo, so there's really no need to include any of the stuff at all, let alone make it like finished or complete or fully usable. They really only just wanted to show off just the gameplay. But despite that, in this demo, it has all these features already to an extent, and you could pretty much customize your emblem, customize your Spartan, change the colors, and pretty much all that. It's pretty feature complete in that regard, minus, the missing armors and stuff. But yeah, so as you can see, now, to be honest, I haven't played Halo 4 on a 360 for a while, so I don't 100% remember all the differences. I'm mostly just playing on MCC nowadays. But I think from like the demo to the final game, quite a lot has changed. Like that main menu background, I'm pretty sure that was different too in the final game. And some of this main menu UI is also different. But anyways, let's get right into the campaign now and take a look at what the campaign demo was like that they showed on stage. So on stage, when they showed the demo, like I said, it would have been heavily scripted. It would have followed like a very strict path, and they would have rehearsed it many times before. But do you guys remember when 343 did their stream way back, their social stream, where they showed the Halo 2 E3 demo, and they're taking requests for what to do to mess around with it, and people were telling them to go off script and stuff, and it was actually messing with the game a lot, and things that weren't supposed to happen because you weren't supposed to do that. Well, there's actually a lot of similarities to that with the Halo 4 demo, and I will show you guys a little bit of what happens if you go off script, so to speak, if you don't exactly do what the demo wants you to do or what you're supposed to do. But anyways, so one of the big differences right off the bat, so this is the mission Infinity on Halo 4, but the intro cutscene is actually the ending of the previous mission, which was, I believe, Forerunner. And this is like the very end where Chief gets out of his ghost and then crashes, and then the Infinity comes in, and then here, this is where the same intro as the final game, but it's much shorter. It's actually missing most of the actual intro cutscene, and it just drops you right into gameplay. Another thing to note here, this is a piece of cut content actually from the demo to the final game. This little space squid here, I actually saw Halopedia articles of it way back, and people have pointed it out in the original demo on the motion tracker and stuff. But this is a little species that's supposed to be like native to Requiem that just kind of floats around like ambient creatures. But it was cut from the final game, and in a demo it was only shown at this beginning part of the mission as well. But, it never made it to the final game, and none of it was left behind in the final game, so you couldn't spawn it in either. I actually wanted to do a video of it before I did the Halo 2 Space Blimp video, the space jellyfish video, but that was that wasn't possible until now. And in the future I might actually revisit that a little bit. But the next different thing about this part of the mission is this part of the mission, it's supposed to be Promethean Knights that you encountered that killed a few Marines, but instead you happen upon a Covenant squad, and the elite charges at you. Well, he actually doesn't charge at you, he just charges in a certain direction, regardless of where you stand, and then he gets disintegrated by what I believe is either a knight or a crawler with a sniper. Also, grenades don't work, at least not frag grenades. They explode, but they don't actually explode. Plasma grenades do explode, but you're actually invincible during this demo. You cannot die, which again makes sense because it's heavily scripted and they don't want the person on stage to accidentally die, and that would kind of mess up the demo, and they'd have to revert to the last checkpoint and it would drag it out, and well, it wouldn't make for a great demo. So that's why they made you invincible in this demo. But aside from that, there's also another scripted encounter here where this knight jumps in. And, Chief kind of has a brief hand-to-hand combat with the knight and then kind of gets owned. But if you guys remember from the final game, that encounter was not there. And don't worry, I know I keep referencing the final game that came out. I'll show you guys a side-by-side comparison in a little bit. But I do want to do a full playthrough of the campaign of the demo first. And another thing to note is this Watcher here is actually unkillable, at least until you grab the light rifle. It's again, this is all heavily scripted. Everything it's almost like on rails actually, which is not surprising for an E3 demo. But once you do grab the light rifle, then the crawler continues with its usual path, and you can kill it at that point, as well as other creatures and stuff like that. But technically you don't have to kill the Watcher, you could just skip it as well. But I do want to do full complete playthrough. I don't want to speed run the demo. It's actually really easy to speed run the demo, but I might cover that in a future video. I didn't really want to cover too much glitching or messing around in this demo for this video, because it would have, it's a pretty long video, and I just wanted to show the details of the demo first, and then we can mess around and kind of bug it later in a separate video if you guys are interested. And of course, if you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments below if there's any specific things you want me to do to mess around the demo, and I'll be sure to keep those in mind and make a list. And when I do mess around with the demo in a future video, then I'll be sure to consider all your requests and see what they do, what happens, and stuff like that. But yeah, so like I said, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll definitely keep that in mind. Anyways, we're actually now coming to the end of the demo now. Once you go to that path over there that you're normally supposed to go in the final game, you do get attacked by a knight and a bunch of crawlers, and that ends the demo. So that's basically the whole campaign mission. You can't go any further than that. Well, you're not supposed to, but that's something we can cover in a future video to see what happens if we get past all these triggers. Technically, all those scripted triggers can be skipped. They are very tiny areas, and you can just literally walk around them, and they won't happen. But again, like I said, future thing to cover. So the next thing here is going to show you guys a side-by-side of the two games, the E3 2012 demo and the final game, in the form of Halo 4 MCC, which is the same as the final game. So right off the bat, aside from the cutscenes, the Halo 4 final cutscene, the final version has a lot more to it, a lot more dialogue and stuff, and it doesn't have that cutscene from the previous mission, while the demo does. The demo has all these scripted encounters with knights, and of course the encounter with the elites earlier, while the final game does not. Also, the demo was BR starts, while the final game was AR starts. But aside from that, the without the scripted encounters, the final game actually does go faster. But that's basically all the major differences in the demo and the final game. Oh, and of course, the Marines lying around, and the tags, and the little distress call from Captain Del Rio that shows up on the screen. But aside from that, those are the big major differences between the two games. Now, I know I said in a future video I would cover messing around and stuff, but I do want to show you one more thing with this. Again, it's really on rails, and if you do go off the path, there's no barriers for the most part, and you could fall into the map. And yeah, because you're invincible, you keep going until the game deletes you. But yeah, so that's the campaign. Now, what about multiplayer? Well, again, that's a separate piece, kind of separate build of the demo, but it's actually war games for Halo 4, my bad, not multiplayer, which, I mean, it is multiplayer, but officially it's called war games. So this comes with 2 game types, Slayer and Regicide, and we're going to be taking a look at Slayer in this case, but it also comes with 3 maps. So the first one we're going to look at is this map, which, it's not... This map is, I don't know, I never really liked this map personally on Halo 4, but I'll show you guys a brief look at it. Now, right off the bat, I'm just going to tell you, there's really no major differences with the maps between the demo and the final game. The maps in the demo, in this case Adrift, they are pretty much identical to the final game. I know there were some earlier Halo 4 betas and network test builds out there where there were some drastically different maps here and there, and a few test DLC maps as well. But these maps in multiplayer, aside from weapon spawns and weapon placements, they are pretty much close to the final game, at least as far as our designs go. But yeah, aside from that, you can notice a few things about weapons. Their reticles are different. I like the scatter shot here and the energy sword, all have different reticles than the final game. Slightly different in some cases and drastically in others. This is the reticle for the sticky detonator as well. Not all weapons are in the game. I know, like, you can mod the maps and stuff like that to enable forge and stuff, but for this video, we're not going to get into mods yet or anything. I do just want to show you guys, like, what's actually in the demo as is. But again, in the future video, we can cover all that and take a look at other aspects of it. But for now, let's go on to the next map. So that was Adrift, and the next map we're going to be taking a look at is Haven. But first, the post-game lobby there, you can see the XP rank up and stuff. It's a little different than the final game. But here we have Haven. No differences as well from the final map, aside from weapon placements. The map is overall visually the same, but and also as far as weapons go, there's no other different weapons either. It's all the same weapons. But I believe that's because of the game type. I'm not sure if there's any other weapons as well that you can spawn in through game types, but for now that's what we got. Also, another cool thing to show you guys here is well, first of all, this is the next map, but if you change teams or stuff like that on the main menu, the change team screen is very interesting. It doesn't have like just plain team colors. It you can see here, aside from the loadouts and stuff, the teams, they actually have team names. Like red team is Demon Team, the gray team is Avengers of Reach, and then we got Sons of Harvest. Those are all references to lore. And then the other teams are probably just different Spartan Fire teams. But yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Now, that never made it to the final game. The change teams was actually changed a lot for that menu. But another thing to notice, back during the demo, Warthogs, actually vehicles in general, they mark the seats, like on a HUD. You got passenger, chain gun, driver. That wasn't in the final game. Also, again, reticle is different for the chain gun. And the overheat in the top right is it's circular instead of like a straight bar. Also, you can't vent the heat anymore. And I'm pretty sure that was a Halo 4 thing to vent the heat. I could be wrong, that could be Halo 5, but I'm not like a huge Halo 4 expert. But if I'm wrong about that, then feel free to call me out on that. But you can't vent heats. So that's one difference, assuming I'm right. But moving right along, same weapons on this map, but we have vehicles it's time to take a look at. Vehicle performance is the same. Vehicle appearance is the same, aside from the reticle. Here's another weapon that we can take a look at. A Spartan laser. I believe that reticle is different as well. But off the top of my head, I don't remember if that's different or not. But I'm pretty sure a lot of these are quite different. Because like the reticles do look unfamiliar to me. So, just make of it what you will, but if someone does remember Halo 4 reticles a lot better than me, then feel free to chime in if they are actually the same or not. But next vehicle we're going to take a look at is the Ghost. Again, like all vehicles, it does have on your HUD, it does mark the seat for you, which I'm actually glad that was removed, because marking the seats is so unnecessary in my opinion. Like, we know that's the driver's seat, we know that's the passenger seat, and when you walk up to it, it says like hold B to get into the driver's seat or hold B to get into the passenger seat. You don't need to mark it like on top of that to say like driver, passenger, or turret. That's just unnecessary. So I'm glad that was removed from the final game. But it's kind of superficial anyways. But anyways, mounted turrets, pretty much the same. You can't vent the heat or anything. You could attach it though, and the turret otherwise is the same. And here we got the Mongoose, marks passenger and driver, even though you actually can't get into the passenger seat unless you have a driver. But yeah, that's basically it for the Mongoose, and that's basically it for this map as well and all of multiplayer. We could take a more extensive look in the future when we could mod it or mess around and see if there's anything missing from it, but right now we're going to move on to Spartan Ops, which is the third chunk of the demo. So just like the other chunks of the demo, each chunk has their own main menu because they are kind of like their own separate game. But for Spartan Ops, we have one mission to play, and we can set the difficulty this time for the mission as well, unlike with campaign. Now, when you start Spartan Ops, it plays a little trailer, which I'll let you watch now, and I'll come back later.
2 decades to build. Over 3.5 miles long. She is the pride of the UNSC, the Starship Infinity. Welcome to the beginning of your new Spartan career. Infinity's story begins in Halo 4's campaign and continues online. Once aboard Infinity, Spartans prepare for combat by competing in war games, a vast simulated experience spanning competitive maps and modes. Cooperative live-fire operations launch from the Spartan Ops briefing room. These missions spin off from a weekly cinematic series set aboard the ship. Each week, a new episode will be released along with 5 new cooperative missions, moving the story of the Halo universe forward in exciting new directions. Everything Spartans do directly impacts and rewards their career. War Games is competitive play. Spartan Ops is weekly episodic cooperative play. No matter what you choose, everything matters in this ongoing, persistent experience. The line between fiction, competitive multiplayer, and campaign is erased aboard Infinity. Your every action affects the story, the ship, and the very fate of the galaxy.
Alright, so there you guys have it. That is the first trailer that is played when you start up the Spartan Ops mission. And it does play that every time, and it is actually unskippable, which is kind of annoying, but it's, you know, not meant to be in the final game either. But anyway, so now we're in the Spartan Ops mission. I'm actually going to speed up most of this mission in a bit, just because it's kind of a long mission, and overall, the mission feels mostly the same as the final mission. Now, I don't remember the final Spartan Ops mission, like, completely, but it's mostly the same from what I do remember, and to be honest, I don't play Spartan Ops that much. It, especially on MCC, without the cutscenes, it's kind of repetitive, and not as interesting without the cutscenes. But I do want to point out the plasma cannon here does have another reticle, and the same overheat circular thing in the top right, but aside from that, you know, we'll be blowing through most of this mission on Spartan Ops. So the objectives are overall the same. The pathway you take are also mostly the same. Kill a few enemies, press a few buttons, kill a few more enemies, defend the area, and pretty much standard Spartan Ops gameplay. But so let's skip ahead a little bit to the end, because most of the middle was just pretty much clearing enemies until I could press buttons and move ahead. So at the end here, you know, you do face quite a few knights, quite a few Prometheans. I actually did die a few times during this part, but you know, just like the final Spartan Ops, you do respawn even on solo. So I don't remember like E3 2012 very well, because that was a long time ago, and at the time I don't even think I watched the whole E3 conference. I don't know, I just don't remember it, but I do kind of remember the campaign demo, but I don't really remember where the multiplayer and Spartan Ops demo is shown. Because it is a really long demo, and I don't think they would have showed this whole thing on stage, unless I'm mistaken there. I mean, this is probably like, you know, shown on the show floor at E3, so that, you know, people who were attending could play the demos. But again, I don't really fully remember all this. I don't remember much footage or anything shown, but it's just a little peculiar thing, I guess, or just because at the time I wasn't really too focused on the Halo 4 announcement. I don't remember, it was a long time ago. But anyways, once you're done the Spartan Ops mission, kind of like the end of the Halo 1 demo on PC and Xbox, it does, after the post-game lobby, it does play another trailer, which I'll let you guys watch again. Alright, so there you guys have it. That is basically the whole Halo 4 E3 2012 demo that was shown on stage, and now we can mess around with it and explore it and check out all the interesting details of it. So like I said earlier in the video, just anything else we need to experiment with in the demo in a future video, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll definitely keep all those requests in mind when I do mess around. But other than that, if you did enjoy this video and found it to be interesting, make sure to leave a like. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys!